Celtic team is exactly as expected, the same as the one which beat Dundee United in midweek, and that's because Frank McGarvey has been past fit to play up front. And for two young Celts, it's a day they'll never forget, their first Old Firm match. Graham Sinclair, the £60,000 sign from Dumbarton, and Paul McStay at 18, the youngest player afield. Gregor Stevens continued at centre-half for Rangers in place of the injured Craig Patterson, and Ali Dawson is restored to left-back to counter the menace of Davy Probin, with Ian Redford moving forward to the exclusion of Colin McAdam and John McDonald, who are on the bench. And Rangers too have a couple of newcomers to Old Firm matches. Dave McKinnon, who's playing despite the head injury he sustained on Wednesday against Hearts, and Robert Pritz, who will probably compete with Paul McStay in midfield. The Rangers start the match and that unique Old Firm atmosphere still prevails, despite the fact that rain has been falling all morning and is still falling heavily. The ground staff at Celtic Park were out forking the pitch until just before the kick-off, so I think we can expect the surface to be very heavy indeed. There's Pritz involved at the start with that ball forward cut off, and McGarvey releasing Charlie Nicholas, McClellan marking, and I wonder if we may see Graham Sinclair of Celtic. The referee this afternoon, Mr. Brian McGinley of Balfron. McKinnon's forward pass. Also going to get back to Cooper. You can see the surface water. That's a great pass from Nicholas to McStay. Now McGarvey. Well, a great build-up from Celtic. Needed a better finish than that. But a moment of concern for Rangers. The pass from Nicholas, splitting the Rangers defence for McStay. The first time pass inside to McGarvey, and that's not a shot he'll be proud of. Long ball aimed for Davy Cooper. Well, they had to come back a long way and he couldn't control the pass towards Dave McKinnon. McKinnon goes down. He was penalised initially for a bit of pushing, but there was some retaliation, and that means a spot of trouble for Charlie Nicholas. Tackle from behind by McKinnon, and Nicholas reacted angrily to that, waving an arm recklessly. There's the result. Charlie Nicholas is booked. The meaning clear in the face of referee McGinley. He has decided to take similar action with Dave McKinnon. Well, you can see the Rangers player doesn't appreciate that one little bit. I think this is prolonged because McKinnon is continuing to argue with the referee. At long last, it will be Celtic's free kick. Played in by Reid, well won by Stevens. Brain forcing it forward. Now Reid. McLeod taking on Russell. And McKinnon with the decisive clearance. Beautifully played down by Johnston for Cooper. Back to Johnston. That'll be a penalty kick perhaps. No, the referee's waving play on. Now that surely was very close. Mark Reid with the challenge from behind. Now the pass came forward from Dave Cooper. Let's see this ball going through to Johnston. He controlled it well, appeared to be clear. Well, that looked very close to a penalty kick to me. Stevens with the clearing header, picked up by Russell. Good play along the Rangers back four initially, although Dawson was put under pressure by that pass from his captain, John McClellan. Well, McAdam really invited Johnston to play that out for the throw. So 15 minutes of all-out fast, determined action was on, and still no scoring. Russell to Dawson. Redford off in the run ahead, getting behind Danny McGrain. And the Celtic captain concedes the corner kick. McGregor Stevens going forward for Rangers, along with John McClelland. Eric Johnston in the 6-yard box. There's John McClelland now going to near post. It'll be Robert Pritz to take the corner kick. Swilling in awkwardly, the ball is in the net, and Rangers are in front. Oh, what a dramatic goal. Pritz's corner kick, and Bonner appeared to punch it into the net. And here it is again, behind the goal. A great corner kick, swirling in and coming off Bonner and perhaps Mark Reed into the net. So Robert Pritz gets the credit for Rangers. That'll be his 5th goal of the season if it counts for him. And with 16 minutes on the clock, Rangers get the perfect start. That was Frank McGarvey battling back for Celtic with Ian Redford. Redford now for Rangers. That's a wild challenge surely by McGrain. Free kick is given. And a smoke bomb behind the Celtic goal in the Rangers blue colours. That's where the Rangers supporters are congregated for the most part. Back to McGrain. That's a chase for McGarvey with McClellan, but the pace of the ball off the turf carrying it through to Jim Stewart. Sinclair back towards McLeod. That's a careless ball from Murdo McLeod. You can tell from the noise all around us, the Rangers supporters still in jubilant mood. They've only won one Premier League match here at Celtic Park since the Premier League began in 1975. That was a couple of years ago when Alec Miller scored a dramatic last-minute winner. A late challenge here by Davy Provin and Robert Pritz, spotted by the referee's lingering eye on the incident, and Rangers have the free kick. So there's the culprit, Davy Provin. Cooper with the free kick, headed away by McGrain. Russell trying the first-time shot. Redford back to McGinnon. Rangers trying desperately to capitalise on that opening goal. Great tackle by Paul McStay. Common playing it through the middle. The Rangers defence hesitating. Here's a great chance for Murdo McLeod. McStay following up. Paul McStay in his first Old Firm match makes it one apiece. So the ball for Murdo McLeod, a chase through the middle of the Rangers defence hesitated. Jim Stewart did well, spreading himself initially. The ball breaking free, and there goes Paul McStay to pick up his 4th goal of the season. Oh, young Paul McStay, the youngest player afield, makes it 1-1, and we still have only had 19 minutes of the first half. Good little ball forward from McLeod to Nicholas. Trying to flight one. Well, there again, the magic of Charlie Nicholas, so close to Celtic's second. Well, he is trying to jink into position, getting away from Jim Bett, lining up that chip ball towards the far top corner. Good play from Redford. Cooper chipping it in. And just look how well McStay stuck to his task. He was marking Redford, stayed with them, made the matching run back. And the clearance breaks back from McAdam. Now Reid. There's McLeod. Robin wants it on the right. Certainly got it with that very accurate pass from McLeod. Dillon's tackle, ball breaking for McStay. McGrain looking for Nicholas, the Celtic main strikers. McGarvey and Nicholas happy to break wide at every opportunity, but that time Stevens plays it up for Rangers again. Now Pritz. Russell just over carrying the ball and giving McStay the chance to play it to Nicholas. Got McGarvey in support. Going outside Stevens. Well, he found space for the shot, but Stewart covered it well. Forward ball from McStay, finding Nicholas. You see McGarvey on his inside. Nicholas retained possession. Tried to get away from Stevens, and Stewart covered that well. Johnston guilty of backing into McAdam. The free kick is given to Celtic, and Johnston will now be spoken to by the referee, and that can only be for persistent dissent. Referee Brian McGinley telling Derek Johnston the facts of life in football terms, and it's Celtic's free kick. Now McLeod. Oh, that almost caught out Stewart at the near post. Good thinking that from McLeod. Everyone expecting a chip cross. Johnston, surely handball by McGrain. Yes, the free kick is given. McGrain, to his credit, having nothing to say in protest. Now 5 minutes of the first half left. Bet for the free kick. Johnston gets a touch on. Davy Cooper! 2-1 to Rangers. Well, that was a splendidly engineered goal. Cooper's 7th of the season, all coming from the free kick. Righted into Johnston, beautifully flicked on. There was Cooper, the looping header, and Bonner was stranded. So Davy Cooper puts Rangers in front with 40 minutes on the clock. And Celtic now have to do it all over again. What a dramatic Old Firm match. With a light challenge and the free kick to Rangers. Well, Rangers have carried a lot of minutes coming forward. They've got plenty of support forward for Derek Johnston from Davy Cooper up front, and with support arriving from Bet, Prince and Redford in midfield particularly. That's very evenly poised, but certainly not a goal which could be considered against the run of play. Now a chance for McGarvey to use his pace. Stewart's in trouble, McGarvey has the chance. And it's Stevens who saved the day for Rangers and for Tim Stewart. Well, what a let-off for Stewart. Complete miss kick from that through ball. McGarvey really should have scored. Stevens kept his head. And what a great goal line save it was. Pitch, leaving it to Bet. Russell. The idea was clear, he was trying to release Davy Cooper. Dawson's header inside. Skidding away from McStay. This is Redford. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. 45 minutes of relentless action. Tremendous quality football. And a match which has had the attention riveted right from the start. The opening goal in 16 minutes coming from a corner kick on the left from Rangers. Robert Pritz playing it to the near post. It was punched in by Bonner. That lead lasting only 3 minutes until Paul McStay cashed in after a good save initially from Tim Stewart.
And then it was ding-dong all the way towards half-time until 5 minutes from the interval, when Rangers went in front. The chip free kick from Jim Bett was glanced on by Johnston. He knew Cooper was there, I'm sure. The header from Cooper, Bonner couldn't reach it, and that is what gives Rangers that vital half-time lead. The score: Celtic 1, Rangers 2. Look forward with keen anticipation to another 45 minutes of a similar calibre to what we saw in the first half, and any knockers of the game in general and Scottish football in particular really ought to be here at Celtic Park this afternoon. Tremendous match, full of all the qualities that go to make wonderful entertainment. Charlie Nicholas playing a long ball forward, and Graham Sinclair has no hope of getting to that. There's Redford. Two Celtic players homing in on him, but he comes out with the ball. Dawson. Russell on for Pritz. McKinnon's on the right. Pritz trying it by himself. What a remarkable let-off for Celtic. Well, Robert Pritz had one or two options available when he took that little back killer from Russell. He could have used McKinnon on the right, checked inside, perhaps spotted Bonner coming off his line, and just look at the power in that shot. Well, undoubtedly a moment of great relief for Pat Bonner. Charlie Nicholas, tackled by Stevens. McStay out to McGrain. Stevens again, collected by McStay. Reed, Sinclair in the box. So is Stevens. Now McAdam. A chase for Murdo McLeod. Well, Stevens, I think, was expecting that to run on to Pritz, and he's been penalised for obstruction on Murdo McLeod. So it's Celtic's free kick. Taken by Davy Provan. To McLeod. Roy Aitken is there. Provan again. Tackle from Russell. McGarvey doing well. Going down, and the referee indicating a dive. Well, dive or no, McGarvey still on the ground as Rangers get the ball away. That thumping ball forward from McGrain goes out for the goal kick. Well, let's take a look at this again. He's trying now to wriggle away from Russell for one. Well, now that is very close again. Dawson to Pritz. Russell steps in. Redford waiting on the left. Now using Dawson. Provan for Celtic. Good lay-off by McGarvey. It's a great move forward from Celtic, and there's no question about it that Roy Aitken was impeded in the forward run. And that brought to an end a very promising build-up from Celtic. One-touch play coming from the back. And Aitken with a surging run is brought to a halt. Free kick already taken by McGrain. Here's Reid. Nicholas slipping. There's McLeod. Provan keeps it in. It's off the line again. John McClelland. Well, Rangers living dangerously. It was a header from Graham Sinclair, I think, who almost got the equaliser. Let's check that again. There's McLeod getting the dead ball line, throwing it beyond Stewart. Provan got it back. Sinclair's header, and there was McClelland to clear it off the line. So no luck at all from Graham Sinclair on his Old Firm debut. Cooper checking inside Provan. Provan's got back because McGrain took a knock and he's still a bit stranded. That two swerving in on Pat Bonner from Redford. Stephen with a header, collected by Cooper. Inviting the wide run from McGarvey. Brings the throw off McClellan, and now we have Nicholas. Referee not interested in appeals for a penalty kick. Here's Provan. Nicholas still on the ground. Stewart claiming it. The Celtic don't even get the corner kick. A little bit tight for Rangers in that penalty area from Nicholas, but Celtic still coming forward again. There's Reid. Sinclair's header, and it was quite touched on by Nicholas. Almost got a vital touch. Sinclair showing his menace in the air. McStay so determined. Perfect chance for McGarvey. Celtic supporters. Two apiece, and that's all down to young Paul McStay. He nipped in to win the challenge, sidestepped that challenge from McClellan. The perfect ball into the path of McGarvey, and Stewart had no chance from the shot. McGarvey's 7th of the season, and undoubtedly the most welcome. Celtic supporters now jubilant. They can sense the possibility of victory. Rangers come forward on the break. There's Cooper. Going past McGrain. Now taking on Aiken. There's Johnston. A good downward header, well taken by Bonner. It was Cooper who caused all the problems for Celtic on the left. Getting away from McGrain and Aiken, right beyond Bonner. The downward header against the balance of Bonner, but he took it well. Now Cooper. No question about that. Palpable foul by Tom McAdam. We got lucky to escape a booking for that. Appears to be content to give a stern word of warning to Tom McAdam. Well, it was a foul which might well have been dealt with more harshly. Nevertheless, a free kick to Rangers. Derek Johnston waiting around the penalty spot. It's too high for Stevens. Back to Russell. Good positioning by Bonner. He advanced from his line to the 6-yard line and out of that down. The Rangers in the director's box with his chairman Ray Simpson beside him. And McGrain. Rangers have come forward in the line to play Celtic offside. Celtic forwards adjusting their position accordingly. McGarvey another chance to cross. Back to McStay, the deflection. Well, McStay has shown his tremendous shooting power already this season. That was McGarvey the first time with the cross. He got it back from Stevens. Played it inside to McStay. Powerful shot, the deflection behind for the corner. Davy Provan again. Stevens beating McAdam. And Dawson this time wins it from McGarvey, but has to concede another corner kick. Celtic building up tremendous pressure now in their attempts to snatch a winner. Charlie Nicholas right in front of the goal line. Fine clearance by Johnston. Bounce beating Reid. Cooper now, can he take on McGrain and Reid? Well, now he's got support. Russell. On the far side, Cooper chested down brilliantly. And Jumbet's effort turned behind the corner. A marvellous move from Rangers. Great play this from Rangers. Russell chipping it across. Look at the chested pass by Cooper. Bet with a shot, and Bonner saves Celtic. McClelland up this time in the other box. Here's Mugabe. Nicholas on the halfway line. Oh, Nicholas dummying McKinnon. Playing it now for McLeod. A great chance for Celtic. Martin McLeod.